Share screen. Okay. Alrighty, can everyone see my screen? Already sounds good. We'll get started. Alrighty, today's lesson will be on the diversity of Nsibidi and its very diverse diaspora. It's gone several places in the New World, both in the past and today. So I'm just going to show you guys kind of how Nsibidi has evolved from several different groups and also how it's used today in daily life. And also to dispel a lot of the people are afraid of these characters, but it's often just used in like parties and gathering and a lot of really fun stuff that I feel like a lot of people, if they know this, they'll want to, take hold of it more and do more things with Insipidity. So without further ado, I do have some repeat slides just in case there was anyone new here, but I see there isn't. This is just more so my instructor information, what I do, my passion for this script, what I've been doing with other people, and my overall expertise using Nsibidi has been quite extensive. So I'm very, very passionate and happy to share all the information I've been gathering with you all. This is another disclaimer in case, someone came in here that these characters can be used for any belief, any culture. They're just adapted for the conditions of those people. So yeah, don't fear using Insipidity. It's very, very developed in its way of portraying deep meanings as well as meaning, neutral to any intolerance. And it can be used for pluralism. So without further ado, I'm going to actually dive into all of this stuff. I brought up last week about how Nsibidi originates from an area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and it's used by various different ethnic groups. It doesn't take one specific form, but certain motifs will spread around different ethnic groups, of which some of the most famous today are Igbo Okara cloth, which is a woven cloth made from indigo dye. So yes, this is going to be the actual first original slide for this slideshow. While much of the scholarly attention has focused on its use within male-dominated secret societies like Ekpe, Mbe, the leopard societies, there is significant evidence that Nsibidi also plays a crucial role in the daily lives and cultural expressions of women. This makes Nsibidi a powerful symbol of gender unity within these societies. It's used for everybody, not just specifically the male societies. They just appropriated a lot of symbols for war and trade later. That a lot of these symbols originated from love affairs, social relations, parties and festivities, as well as just documenting and beautifying women and other people who decided to put these things on them for marriage, documenting things, as well as several different, forms of communication. According to Talbot, in the interior, children and young girls still have their bodies painted with these designs made by black vegetable dyes. They are also fond of ornamenting their faces, especially their foreheads, with the designs in various colors. The absolute mastery of outline is shown by these is far beyond the average expected from Europeans. The variety of such patterns are extraordinary. Several hundred sketches have been made by Talbot and his wife that supply the extensive vocabulary that is Nsibidi. The outlines are filled with Nsibidi writing, and sometimes a whole family history or individual girl's history is written on their face with these patterns. So that way, people who are looking for brides, people who are trying to have social relations, they can already know who you are, where you come from, and how old you are, what house you're a part of, all from just things that are written on your face. So I want this to be very, very clear. Incivity, while it can serve as formal writing, it does so much more than your classic ABCs and stuff like that. Public incivility. A widespread historical use of incivility is to give public notice or private warning of anything. For example, to forbid somebody from coming on a certain road, like a road blockage sign we have today. Incivility would be written on the ground to tell people, hey, don't come to this path. Don't walk down that way. We might be building something, or there might be a sinkhole, anything like that. to warn a friend that he's to be seized. So during the transatlantic slave trade, when ECBA members were aware of what was going to happen to a certain family, people would try and forewarn them by writing things on their doors or near places that they would see. So that way they would flee before being captured by local slave traders and people who were trying to invade a certain territory, as well as if a chief wanted to see certain people within the community, people had their written house and clan symbols that the chief would write it on the wall for them to be summoned to the palace or the court for anything. It can be anything, but that's a specific way of giving people certain titles and names, which you also see on their faces as well. Nsibidi is often used in decorative motifs such as pottery, textiles, and other objects. These symbols convey cultural stories, status, identity, and are meant to be appreciated by the public. So here we have the calabash has two symbols for unity or a gathering and a drum. So, people eating and drink, like similar to what we do today. We all just gather around, we listen to music, we have alcohol, or people drink other things. You're basically just gathering around, enjoying festivities, enjoying each other's company. And there are certain signs and notifications that from different clans they come together to make these certain festivities and stuff like that. If you see here, the 1911 account by Dayrell has the Nsibidi character for drum, showing festivities, music, dance, and so on and so forth. This is a closer look at the pottery. So as you can see, there are different sizes. A lot of these symbols are on the backs of these pots. I tried to get a better piece so you can see some of the overlap here with the Nsibidi being portrayed on pottery. These are over 2,000 years old, so I know they might look a little, beat up, but it's for a good purpose. And yeah, textile. So as I was saying earlier, Akara is a primary indicator of the leopard society membership today. And although it's often said that authentic Akara is only made for Ekpe members, there are some markets you can go to in Ezilio Village in Nigeria today to go and buy mock-ups of Akara cloth with more deeper esoteric symbols for Ekpe members are written on those cloths and given to those specific members. But majority of these signs, although they might have levels to them to where people don't understand everything about them, they have layered meanings. So whereas you might see this as simply a tortoise or symbol of wisdom, it might actually apply to a certain lodge and they use it on a deeper level, or they share certain stories that might be not as common within a certain community. And so as you see here, that same motif for drum and stick has survived here to basically denote, festivities, drums, something being played, some kind of music, because these are worn during masquerade plays of Ekpe. Ekpe isn't just a society, it's the drum music itself, it's the gatherings, it's people celebrating and, enjoying each other's company. So here's some quick notes. I wrote the traditional and the simplified symbols if you guys want to write them down quickly. And you're going to see these a lot. So once I actually start, I'm going to be making a whole YouTube video series now because I'm tired of people like, what is that? And why does it look like that? What does that mean? I'm like, if you see things over and over and over again, you're going to start recognizing a lot of these characters. It's very, very easy to pick up once you see, oh, okay, I've seen drum on this, I've seen sun on this, I've seen moon on this. And things start coming together. They're stacked, and then they make up all these really pretty symbols that I can see people, instead of writing Chinese, you can write this on your body, or instead of writing, different scripts you can enjoy. And when you guys are done, just give me a thumbs up so that way I can move on to the next slides. Sounds good. Okay, bet. Alrighty. So we have a quick little test. It's nothing too deep, I promise. But if this is the character for drum, can you guess which is the character for rhythm or music? You can type it in the comments or you can just unmute your mic. Either works. Let's see. Okay, I got one response. Correct. You guys are both correct. So as you see here, that character for Unity we saw earlier, along with drum, just denotes, a gathering with music or some kind of rhythm dance going on here. So drum being used as we saw on pottery, as we saw on cloth, it's also used here to denote music. We're gathering around, we're joining together around the drum to have a good time. Don't show anybody that I showed y'all this, but yeah, this is a lot of different characters that pertain to these different things. Food, vibes, music, chair, dance. Don't tell anybody about the smoke, but stuff like that. There's a lot of things here that are, they survive today in the daily things that we do today. So I don't want it to feel like, oh, that's ancient. We're never gonna do that again. Like, no, we do these every day. Well, we do these when we we do these when we can. But yeah, like we enjoy ourselves today, similar to how our ancestors enjoyed ourselves. I know some of these might be hard, so I'm definitely gonna send slides. Yeah, I'm gonna work on stroke order too. So if you guys ever have any questions privately, of course, you can always message me. I want to make sure you guys get my main account too on Instagram. I think Esha has it, but I'll send it to you too, Chi, so that way you can see, if you guys have any questions on how to write these things, I can always help you guys. I have no issue. But just a little overview. I know I taught you guys water last week as well, I believe. So, you can kind of see drinking. This is like a straw and it's water. So this is a drink. This is like a chalice or a wine glass. So mania is alcohol. Kind of looks like, a chalice in itself. Um, I'm trying to work with, yeah, Egu, we just learned music. So by Egu is person moving to music, which is dance. Oche is chair because it represents the bottom of the seats in a chair. Often wooden stools would be a little shorter than this traditionally, but yeah, same purpose. Let me know if you guys are done or having any trouble too. I don't want you to feel isolated. So that means at the party. Nime or Riri means at the party, inside the party. Ori is to eat something. I don't know if you ever heard the word re. So basically inside of the festivities, basically, a feast or some kind of gathering. Nime oriri, which is inside the party, basically. I'm the character for mouth, and there's a stick in the mouth, so you're eating something, kind of like a shish kebab or something like that. You have something on a stick, and you're eating it. Suya, for example. Inside, this is the character for pregnant, and then this is a woman, so she has a belly, yeah, inside. Yeah. Amen. Any other questions? Okay, but I will move to the next slide. Private Nsibidi, also known as esoteric Nsibidi, consists of symbols and messages, hand gestures, and other signs within secret societies used for specific ceremonial purposes among the Ijagum and other groups in southeastern Nigeria and Cameroon. These forms of Nsibidi are usually not written down or public for people to basically see. They're typically restricted to initiated members and are used to convey messages related to rituals, spiritual matters, and society secrets. So this is an example of some esoteric activity. Yeah, so there's a bunch of different things that's done, things with the hands. They'll make certain hand gestures as well. This is more so with the feet. You can do a lot of things within Civi. There are the eye gestures that are made by members, hand gestures that are made, certain dances that are made as well. This is a very, I don't want to say mundane example, but yeah, these are some of the lower level examples of Nsibidi that let the masquerade know what to do, as well as letting the people know like what the masquerade is doing, done by the Nsako or the person who's running the Yamba, who's running the masquerade at this time, as well as the staff. The staff is in itself is often written with Nsibidi as well to show people, hey, I'm a part of Ekbed, basically. Okay, okay, that's so Nsibidi in Ekbed. In Ekoi folklore, there's a mention of Nsibidi as an Nsibidi society, which is apparently long before even Ekbe came around. Only chiefs might belong to it, or there are oftentimes there wasn't just Ekbe society and Nsibidi societies. There were a lot of the women in these societies were diviners, and decided to pass along a lot of their knowledge from the waters and their signs and gestures from water spirits onto men, which eventually some of these symbols became militarized for like trade, for protecting certain community lodges and stuff like that. But oftentimes these Nsibidi societies were often led by chiefs and supported by Ebo members, which were ancestral um, intermediaries that served as like councilmen and different people who met up to make certain decisions. And its seven images or masquerades acted as the executioners of those sentenced to death. So criminals and thieves. A part of a lot of what Nsibidi and Ekbed became is to upkeep social justice. So if people are lying and stealing, people are doing bad things. There's a secret writing system that people can like document these things. Things are written in that community household, as well as messages for what happened and where can be given to people who can do the right things, basically. Ekpe has always been a means of social justice, of a means of keeping a community protected and just stopping a lot of, very bad things from happening to a people. So if you can get messages across without other people knowing what you're saying, you can protect the community, monitor a lot of the, bad things that are happening, and so on and so forth. I would say like the Daily and Avatar, but that's a horrible example. I don't want to say that because that got really bad and corrupt. But similar to that, just making sure people are okay, making sure the community is okay, and just overall enjoying people's company, as I've said earlier. Nsibidi on artifacts. So the Usan and Dem, Usan means plates. Indem, similar to Idemiri in Igbo culture. Indem means just a mermaid or a water spirit. The Usan Indem is a water spirit dish that's decorated with a figure of the water spirit as well as symbols in Nsibidi as well surrounding the mermaid. The mermaid is depicted with an English style crown here, even though there's other different plates that have different motifs that basically allude to what this divinity does or its use of the plate. It's made out of brass metal and beaten manually with a hammer to showcase the rich like skill sets in the area of southern Nigeria, as well as the intricate designs that are handly done with a heated needle to make this entire plate. So it took a lot of time. A lot of these different characters you see here are like wealth. These are the four eyes. So two eyes in the physical, two eyes in the spiritual world. This character here, love and unity, because this is Udamyang. Udomyang is like Venus or Aphrodite to the Efik, Ibibio, and some Arochukwu and other clans as well. Ndem is said to influence Idem. Idem are water spirits in Igbo culture, Idem Miri, which just means like water mother or a pillar of water. Yeah, we have wealth, riches, unity, a mat to like make offerings and stuff like that. So many different motifs here, and she's depicted with a fish, and a lizard, which are both supposed to be royal symbols in itself pertaining to water. Uh-oh. Yeah. So I have Gourd here, unity, as we saw earlier, in person. Nsibidi in the diaspora. Nsibidi symbols are deeply rooted in cultural practices of the people, not only in Nigeria and Cameroon, but came here to the New World via the transatlantic slave trade. The system is not only here, but it has evolved into highly complex different cultures that exist here, not only here in the US where I'm from, but my family who lives in Cuba, as well as some of the people in Haiti. There are other places too. I actually want to do a lot of research on this. I've heard Trinidad has a lot of different signs as well. A lot of Caribbean islands like Jamaica has a lot of Igbo people as well. Several different Barbados. I think Guyana has some, as well as Brazil. Brazil has a lot of instances of Nsibidi. So Nsibidi and Abakwa culture, because this is one of my specialties. The Abakwa is a secret society in Cuba and has direct roots to Ekpe in Nigeria. The use of the symbols are highly evident in everything that is Abakwa. So a lot of these symbols here, as I was saying, good luck for the four eyes, which is a symbol for good luck, is written on the backs of the pompo, which means cap in Abakwa language. It's used to cleanse items that are used in ceremonies like the drum, the food, the masquerade costume itself, even the incense that's used when people come to these sites, as well as everything's made ritually clean so people can enjoy themselves without worrying about, a lot of the different chaos that can pursue at a party. Yeah. So Nsibidi is highly used in Cuba today. I wanted to show a video on Anaforona. Anaforona, which Ana, our like land. Foru, we were kicked out. Ana, so we were kicked out of our land, which comes from the Igbo words for Ana, for and Ana. So to be literally taken from our lands refers to the secretive writing system written by the Abaquan Society, and it helps basically aid society members in understanding different meetings, what's being talked about, as well as documenting different cultural heritages within the society. This same character for good luck, the four eyes, two in the spiritual, two in the physical, is seen here in a lot of these anaforona firmas. Firma in Spanish just means signature. So literally the signs or signatures of the spirit.
Samir society. We see the drums with the signs. We see the plumed rod, very important in the culture. These are the marks they make on the body for initiation. This is the sign given to authorize the ceremony by all the title holders. Each title holder is there. This is the drinking cup of Nasako. You see the triangle. What does that represent? The triangle. What is the most stable symbol in the world? Stability. The Egyptian pyramids. Stability. Epe is firm on the ground. This is a sign for one of the masquerades. And the man here today from Cuba, he has this title. They call it a Berignan. They are twin masquerades. This is a sign for Usagare, Isangele in French. This is a sign for Usagare, the source of Ekpe. You see, when it has circles, that means it's Balondo people. They are talking Balondo. If you see a cross, that cross means the ethics in Calabar. But they are showing the source, Balondo, Isangele, stability. This is the Ekpe boat. Because Ekpe must cross water. And before you cross water, you have many ceremonies. Because why? Ancestors are in the water. So you have to prepare your boat very carefully. Ekpe boat. This is another sign. This represents Usagare, Isangele. And the Cubans will talk, they say Usagare Nangyo. They will talk about that. This is a sign of the, you see, Efo, Balondo, Ethok. This is so because they say that the Balondos or the Isangele people gave Ekpe to Calabar. Yes. They are saying Cameroon has given to Nigeria. That's the message there. No be easy. This is a sign of the gourd, the calabash. You see in the painting, the woman has a calabash on her head. If a fish went inside, the fish was an ancestor and brought something to humanity that all could share. You see, that's Balondo, the foe. The Sagare is the source of Ekpe for the Cubans. This is what? Get 4 legs now. What get 4 legs? Now goat, boy. This is the goat they have. This is the goat they have sacrificed for the community to chop together. It's the collective. And this is another sign for Bakoko. Bakoko is very important in Cuba. Bakoko. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna say anything because some of those, I know a bit more about, what I'm also aware he can't say a lot too, but all I'm gonna say is he did say what a few of those signs mean. A lot of those things also are represented not only in Cameroonian rites as well. There is I hate using the word cults, but culture that writes Mpitime or Mpetime, which is like the chalk writing used similar to Uli is used more so in decorative ways. Mpitime or Mpitime, yeah, is used by Ekpe with two Ks by the Igbo as well, that is used for writing certain affirmations. Morning prayers are written on the floor and stuff like that for people to see. Anytime you pick up chalk, you have to have a pure heart to write these things out too. So that way these affirmations are for the community and people. The chalk represents an ancestor as well. Yeah. So this is some of the literal liturgy that I've documented. So on the back of Aberi Isun Imbori, which is the slaughter of the goat, you'll see this symbol here, which is used for on the right leg, which means like, on the right, like that's what happens to the goat, unfortunately. And it's written on the pompo, and then everybody can see, oh, that's what that masquerade does. For the Ireme here, which is Aberisun, he actually does the physical slaughter of the goat. So that way people actually eat these things afterwards. And it's also just a symbol of removing bad luck from the community. Ireme Anamangui is used for funerary rites. So whenever a member dies, they handle all the funerary rites within the culture. And they do a lot of the burying of the deceased members, making sure that they don't, people who are put to rest, they're not vengeful. They are basically laid to rest with all their respective titles, their respective customs, and are basically properly buried. This is all ran by Anamangui. This character here for leopard and the skull. So a dead leopard member or deceased member of the society. The society is now put to rest by Anamangui, which comes from the words Anamegbe, which means I'm crawling. I'm crawling in Igbo. Nsibidi in Haiti. So the transformation in Nsibidi in the New World both involves preservation and adaptation. Enslaved Africans creatively adopted and adapted their traditional symbols to new environments, merging with other elements of culture. In Haitian voodoo, the intricate symbols known as veve are drawn on the ground to invoke certain loa or certain spirits, which some scholars say have a lot of overlap with Nsibidi. As you see here, that same character for four eyes, two in the spiritual, two in the physical, is also written here in Haitian Vivid on the ground as well. There are some other elements that come from strictly Congolese practices, which have highly influenced what Veve is. A lot of the stigmatization actually it's crazy because these often represent saints. Most people who are in Haiti are Catholic as well as in Cuba. So a lot of the stigmatization is only done to discredit and demonize a lot of Afro diaspora cultures when really, if you can pray to Mary and I can do the same thing, why can't I just write, what I want to say? That's why I'm trying to really do a lot of the study too. I've noticed a lot of people don't like when Black people write. It's very crazy. I just find it, very sad. But a lot of these different veves are oftentimes sold in shops for like, different charms and trinkets and stuff like that that actually brings a lot of luck and prosperity to the wearers. So in CBD in the US, this is also one of my huge areas of study because I'm from the US. A lot of these traditions have survived, and we couldn't necessarily write everything down because it was literally outlawed with the Black codes, but people found other ways, such as quilts. A huge part of African American history and its relationship with Nsibidi is using these symbols to leave to by the Underground Railroad. So putting them on cloths, putting them on quilts, putting them on charms that were used during the Civil War, as well as First and Second World War. There have been hand charms found on people underneath floors of churches, on quilts that have been passed down generationally as well. So these elements aren't just always going to be written down on an object. They can take various diverse forms that would have hidden them from colonial eyes. So yeah. As you see here, this was Son and Dem that has the character for Gatherings or Riches, was also featured in the Black Panther world premiere here, down here. Um, so yeah, I was really excited to see that. It's getting everywhere. It's starting to slowly progress. A lot of people are taking notice, and I'm really happy to see that. There's a few others down here. This is Unity. This is Entrance, Market. I don't know what these other ones are, but yeah, get a little closer look. Okay, yeah. So these are some of the main characters, if you haven't written them down, that we've learned from our lesson today. I try to not make it as super dense as I did last time. I know other people have things to do. But yeah, I'm always happy to share anything that you guys have questions about, any of the comments you guys want to have about what you want to see more so in these lessons. Um, yeah, I would want to do quiz stuff like interactive things like Kahoot and stuff like that. I just don't want to lose people or move too fast. And yeah, I'll let you guys write these out. Let me make sure that this is okay. Yeah. Can't wait till next week. Once I start doing fashion, there's a few places I wanna I wanna show you guys. There's actually a shop in the UK, I think it's called a Oasis or something like that. I forgot what it's called. It's an online shop though. They actually have been using Nsibidi on like dresses and stuff like that. People have earrings and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, it's a lot of this stuff has gone very, very far. I think you guys would like it a lot. Um, and I'm actually working on stuff myself to make like cloth and fabric so that way people can wear these things. And yeah, imagine you have your name or something you want to write down. You can wear it every day. Like, love, beauty, um, like jewelry. I've seen people wear it in like rings, necklaces, yeah, all this stuff. I'm like, wow. When I started this, nobody knew what this was. Nobody cared. Everybody was scared. And now it's everywhere. It's in a movie. People are wearing it every day, and so on and so forth. Okay, here's my works side. Besides the embedded things that I have in the slides, does anyone have any questions, comments, statements, concerns? I tried to make it a little bit shorter today, so that way I don't overwhelm you with information. But if you have any questions right now, you can definitely let me know. No questions? Okay, bad. No, yeah, you go ahead.
Just one thing, I think that was like 1 year ago where I had a discussion with a friend of mine
Mhm.
who started to tattoo like Nsibidi signs,
Yeah. Hmm.
but was like doing it on random people, not knowing a lot about it, and
Hmm.
was calling it like tribal marks. And
Yeah.
we had a whole discussion about it on um, yeah, how to spread it, when to
Hmm.
spread it, and I don't know. We were kind of conflicted about it. I think now there's a routine in it, and he informed himself about it and is more aware of it. But I think, yeah, what is your stance on that when people
So I
just do
actually, yeah, I feel like with intention, it's perfectly fine. Because as I just shared, historically, it's been tattooed on people. It's been written on people. Oftentimes, though, similar to henna, it's kind of more so temporary. Like with the things that are written on them, there can be more permanent ways of doing it. I just, when I see like, somebody writing dead witch on their back, and I'm like, that's not what, I wouldn't want you writing that. Or like, it's not that I have an issue with tattooing, it's knowing what you're writing on your body. Similar to Chinese, some people think, oh, this says beautiful goddess, and it says like, fried rice or something on their body, and they're like, oh, I thought I was like, no. Getting actual awareness, understanding where this comes from, its use would be huge. Also, just people just, oftentimes showing their whole name or body on their which is fine. I guess you can share your tattoos. I'm just more so a private person. And a lot of these symbols in themselves, they're perfectly fine to use in the public. It's just they're tied to other things. So it's just like, hey, you wouldn't just want to show anybody a picture of like I know dudes have like their girlfriend or something like that on their back. Like you wouldn't just show any and everybody, like your whole family member or your, girlfriend on your back. But as far as the logistics of it goes, as long as you're educated, as long as you seek appropriate translation, I have no problem with getting, something on your back, something on your arm. And I think Emmanuel Etten or
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. I was like trying to tell him like, hey, like a lot of these are good. I'm just like, hey, I'm trying to make sure you're writing the right stuff so that way people don't have something permanent on their bodies. But majority of the times he did write out a lot of correct translations, as well as some of his own Uli designs and stuff like that. So just making sure that you're I don't want to put myself on like that, but coming to somebody like me or another Ekpe member would be nice. So that way you can have some kind of like, okay, that's right, before you write that on somebody's body permanently. Other than that, any of these signs are there for the public to use. So you guys can read and write in them, write them on any things that you want. The esoteric things aren't seen by anybody. So there's no way that you would be basically trespassing on that. Just bringing awareness of what it is. Because I'm seeing it everywhere, but a lot of people aren't crediting what is Nsibidi. And that helps me and other people who are doing Unicode. Unicode is so that way I'm already kind of writing stuff with a font, but imagine one day I can text you in Nsibidi. That's kind of what I'm working on. And it's very, very close. We're very, very close. I have a lot of good people in my circle, and we're all getting really close to getting Unicode. It's just a lot of work to prove to, an Asian and European predominant community that Africans have writing, that, we could read and write. These symbols have deeper connotations. And yeah, but I can see within the next year or two, like the process for Unicode is definitely going to take off. So I'll be able to text you guys and be like, hey, what's up? This, and that. Send me your WhatsApp in Unicode and stuff like that. But yeah, like I definitely see this being huge for the community. Tattoos, people have been using it in art everywhere, clothing. I actually was trying to make some not pottery, but like some dishes with some insipidity on them, like bowls and cups and stuff like that. For me, for myself. I mean, I could sell these things later, but I'm like, if you knew me, like everything in my house has stuff on it. So furnishing, anything that you can imagine, it can be written with these things on there. And in some people's, if they're superstitious, some people's cultures, they believe writing those things embody those things for that community. So you'll see love written on doors often, peace, protection, all these things written onto objects that people use daily, spoons, all these different things. But yeah, sorry to rant on that question. Any more questions, concerns, um, anything? This time is all yours, guys.
I think a question that I had last time where I had to go already, just out of personal interest, I guess, if you feel like sharing,
Mhm.
how you came about all of it and what made you or what, yeah, whatever. You got the question.
You would not believe my journey in this stuff has been very peculiar to say the least. Definitely not happenstance. I'm from Galveston. So a lot of my looking at my family history, a lot of things like I don't even want to go into that, but a lot of things are very like kind of just secret in my family and stuff like that. So having done, my background, my ancestry, a lot of, self identity, self discovery, finding, the connections that I do have in Cuba, a lot of the different quotes and things that are here. It started off first just documenting material culture. I'm like, hey, this is what my family has. Other families should do this too. And I was starting to realize a overlap. I'm like, why are people writing, these certain things that I start to see it here on, hand charms. I see it in quilts, and then studying how like my great grandfather was basically like, smuggled here once Texas basically outlawed direct slavery when it was under rule of Mexico. People still like British plantation owners as well as French and some Spanish plantation owners in Louisiana still wanted enslaved people. So they smuggled them from the Caribbean into the US to then later work as sharecroppers and all these other different things. But the material culture still survives. So in trying to break up what for me was Abaca in Cuba, a lot of that material culture still survives in my family, in my quilts, some of the things that we like, say and do, even in Louisiana Creole itself. A lot of the words that we use are mixtures of languages that are from other places. And then from there, I also have always been into like writing, especially ideographic writing. So studying like what kind of writings are in Africa. And then that kind of also solidified like why was I able to figure out, Chinese very easily, but now in Nsibidi, it's just like it feels more natural and native to me. Um, just a lot of self-discovery, a lot. I don't want to sound crazy on here, but a lot of like dreams and things that I would have. I would have questions, signs that I would see and write, and never having seen them before in my life. Being able to decipher certain things, and people are just like, "How did you figure that out?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's just something inside of me that wants to do this research." And now I don't want to say too much. I don't want to brag, but like literally, I'm about to go to Cuba to do reconnect and talk to some lodges. I've been invited to Nigeria to do initiation into Ekpe and become Obon Ekpe, which is chief Ekpe chief. So yeah, like kind of sharing similar to what happened to me, like other people need to see too that it might literally be around them every day and they don't notice that like somebody left something for them to find, or there's something within them or within their community that like this wasn't just for them to write. The people who wrote it at that time, it was something for, later down the line, if someone finds this, that they were a descendant of this culture. And I'm finding that more and more people resisted their means of their identity being stripped from them. And sure, they didn't write it out on like paper because that could easily be taken or just destroyed. They found other ways to express this rich culture where they were and how to sustain it. Has been a really huge interest of mine. That's why I'm doing this work. I'm trying to teach people. Yes, of course, I, want to raise awareness and all this other stuff, but I also want people to appreciate it so it survives long term, so we can use it day to day. And yeah, I'm glad I followed my heart in doing this. It's everywhere. It's getting very popular. It's on people, it's on signs, it's on clothes. And it all started with curiosity about myself, about the people around me, about who makes me who today. So yeah, sorry about that whole, rant, but yeah, I really do appreciate you guys listening and just taking this journey with me because it's always constantly just evolving and changing. Any more questions? I promise I won't talk too long. Alrighty. If you guys don't have any more questions, I'm going to stop the recording and then I will send this to both of you guys after I upload it to the Google Drive that I have. And then I'll also send these slides too. If you guys can leave an email or just text me your email, I'll just email you the slides for this entire presentation, and then we can go from there.
Do
I
you
appreciate you
want to share
guys. What's up?
your do you want to share your private one where I can send you
My email or my Instagram?
wherever you feel like it's okay
Oh yeah,
to
yeah,
questions
I'm
on?
not shy at all, especially if it's email. That's my actual email. Let me print out these slides right quick. Copy you guys this. Got this down. Okay. All right. Ready. But if you guys don't have any questions, you guys are free to go. I'm not holding you hostage. I will send the slides and the video via email. If I can't send it on email, if it's too big, the file, I'll just send the link to the Google Drive that has the entire video. But if no one has any question, you guys promise you guys don't have any questions or anything like that. Okay, bet. Then I'll let you go. And then I look forward to next week's lesson. I have a lot of stuff for next week's lesson.
Looking forward. Thank you so much.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye bye.